Club members, we have your spring club shipment here for you. We also have Ken and myself. I'm Joylyn, the wine club manager, so thank you for tuning in today. All of these wines are from the 2019 vintage. Ken, did you want to talk a little bit about the 2019 vintage?
Absolutely, thank you. It's more of a traditional vintage for Oregon, one like we saw a lot of back in the 70s, 80s, early 90s, where there were colder years, extended seasons because of that, often not harvesting until mid-October. This is the case in 2019, where we had a cooler year, beautiful year, dry-ish until the very, very end. Just perfect amount of heat to keep the vines maturing, but not racing. And that's what you want with Pinot Noir. You want things to be mild. Mild weather is key. At the end of the year, though, we did get some rainfall. We were still on the vine in early October. That rainfall essentially caused some enlarging of the berries, which was concerning to us. There were actually three rain events. We harvested after that third event, and as we were harvesting, we began to notice that the connection of the berry to the cluster, to what's called the rachis, was very fragile. That little tiny stem that's on the back end of the berry is called the pedicel. That's what holds that berry to that stem, and that connection became fragile because the berry had been enlarging with each rainfall and then getting smaller, enlarging, and so forth, so changing shape, and it caused that connection to be fragile. So when we started harvesting, the pickers are in the field moving quickly. They are getting that fruit, cutting with their shears off the vine. All of a sudden, we're seeing berries everywhere, flying up in the air, and I was like, oh my God! I was wishing like a vacuum cleaner or something if I couldn't get them, and that was just the way it was. So we lost a lot of fruit in the vineyard. Once we got that fruit on the truck, loaded on the truck in bin, we saw that there was just juice cascading everywhere because, again, fragility of the berry. They were being easily crushed a bit because of the weight in the bin. As the truck came in and was unloaded, as we were processing, meaning doing all of the hand sorting, we have a dozen volunteers on each of our lines. We're doing intensive hand sorting, removing everything, every leaf, every insect, everything that doesn't belong. As we're doing that, we're seeing more juice flying off of the equipment, off of the sorting lines and such. In the end, we lost so much juice that we got back to the kind of concentration that we had in the field before any of that rainfall occurred. And so we ended up with that. Well, you can see the color is fantastic. So we ended up with great color. We ended up with lots of concentration, lots of nuance and detail. It's fantastic. It's a really wonderful year, and it will be a very ageable year.
Wonderful. We are excited for you to try them at home with these 4 vineyards here, all from different AVA sites, 2 from the same AVA, American Viticultural Area. Ken, do you want to talk about the 3 different AVAs here?
Sure.
So we have Carter, Guadalupe, Hershey, and Freedom Hill Vineyard.
Absolutely. So Carter, the first one to the left, would be our only volcanic in this lineup. This is the Eola Amity American Viticultural Area. And American Viticultural Area, for our friends at home, is a federal designation, not a state of Oregon designation. It's federal. You have to apply for, through a written argument, you have to apply to get an area designated as being unique and separate from everything around it. You have to prove it through geology, rainfall, temperature, aspect, whatever it might be. You have to prove that this area is unique and unto itself. So in these cases, these are all, this is the Eola Amity Viticultural Area. It is volcanic in its basis. Its original geology is basalt. The other 3 are all marine sediments, with the 2 here in the middle, the Guadalupe and Hershey, are in the Yamhill Carlton AVA, which is the one that I wrote a couple decades ago. And so this is in, of course, the surrounding hills around, the upper ridge lines around the 2 towns of Yamhill and Carlton. Beautiful, beautiful area. And again, this is all old ocean bed. It's sand. It's sandstone and siltstone, the mother rock. And then finally you have here Freedom Hill, which is further south. This is down by Dallas, Oregon, not Texas. She's a Texan. So this is Dallas, Oregon. And so this is also, though, marine sediments, but from a different era. This is called the Belpine soil series, and it's quite different. It's a lot. It has a lot of what are called piezolites, which are these tiny little ball-like structures of a little bit of clay mixed with the sand. Really interesting. They stay moist late into the year, and they provide moisture to the vines that in these two sites does not exist.
Wonderful. Thank you, Ken, for. Thank you, Ken, for.
Wow, we were so there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to redo that. It's okay. Just keep going. We can cut it out.
Can you? Okay, good. That's their job. So where were we when we want to cut it out?
Thank you, Ken, for telling us about the different AVAs here. Folks, your shipment will be available March 1st for pickup, or if you have your wine shipped, it will ship out March 1st as well. March 4th is our spring pickup party, where we will have 4 different hors d'oeuvres for you to try, as well as the wines that are in some of the club shipments. So we look forward to seeing you March 4th at our tasting room.
Okay,
Cheers.
Okay.